Alright guys, what is going on? Fly here and welcome back to the channel. I know I haven't posted much World of Warship content lately, and that's mainly because I've gotten frustrated with the game. Here's some post commentary of some Benson games I've been playing today. Oh my gosh, destroyers are so darn fun. Here in front of us, sorry about that bass, man. Holy crap, I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. But we have a Nolans and a Colorado in front of us just lining up for us to get some torpedoes on target. The Benson is a tier 8 American destroyer with some amazing guns, as you see me demonstrating. Fast firing, we have about 4 on board, and that's only going to increase with the next one, and then the next DD we unlock, which is going to be the Fletcher and then the Gearing. As you can see, 2 pretty decent health ships are going down very quickly. We got 3 torpedo hits, 2 on the Nolans, and 1 on the Colorado. And it's just so fun to torpedo. I don't know what it is about it. There goes the New Orleans, and the Colorado's about to follow. AT really doesn't do too much on a battleship, but a cruiser really does some pretty good damage. 6,000 health. He's got some torpedoes from an aircraft carrier on him. So let's talk about how this plays for us. I don't really do post commentaries that much, so it's kind of weird for me because I already know what's going to happen, you know. But I became very frustrated with how World of Warships carrier gameplay and battleship gameplay was. What am I, you know, when I make videos for you guys, I really don't like to, you know, kind of rant or be depressing, but I don't think this will be a depressing video. You guys are going to enjoy the gameplay, and I might bring up some good points to bring to Wargaming's attention, or just to you guys to be aware of it. World of Warships is too RNG. You know, sure, World of Tanks is RNG, but you can control what you do during the game. So let's say in World of Tanks, you know, I'm a T-54. You're a, let's say a Jag Tiger E1 or a E100, you know, pretty much like a mouse, all right? I know that I can't penetrate you from the front, but if I go from the sides or behind you, I'm going to penetrate, or I could use Hesh or, you know, the premium shell and get away with it. But you can control what you do in that game. You know, okay, the mouse's max alpha is this. Okay, so if I go around this corner, I'm gonna take a hit and put 2 shells into him from his side before he can reload and potentially win the game. And you really can't do that in World of Warships. You can't plan what you want to do next. And that goes for battleship gameplay only. Now, the reason why I'm starting to really love destroyers is that you can control what happens in the game. Sure, we don't have a lot of health. Sure, we can get one-shotted pretty easily. But if you send torpedoes out and you play the map accordingly and you learn how to play destroyers, you're going to have a good time. Sure, you're going to have some bad games, whatever. There's always going to be a player better than you in the world, you know. But with the battleship gameplay in World of Warships, it's too watered down. There's not enough skill involved, and there's too much luck. So, with that said, no one's confident in battleships in World of Warships, in my opinion. People are they hide, but I mean, how do I say this? They don't feel confident in their playing style, I guess. You can never predict what a battleship shell is going to happen. And sure, that can be said about a lot of video games. I don't know if this will compare correctly, but in CSGO, if you know, sure, once the bullets leave the chamber, I can't control those. I mean, I can control the aim. I can control my aim in battle or in World of Warships, but the RNGesus of the shell trajectory, how it hits. In CS:GO, if I aim at your head and a bullet hits your head, it's gonna kill you one shot. Depends on what gun you take, but you know what I'm saying. But in World of Warships, that's not the case.
Our victory is in sight.
You can't depend on skill. If I'm in a battleship and I shoot under your guns, maybe around 8 kilometers out, right under your guns, and you know, I might hit maybe 6 out of the 8 of my shells, and I do maybe, you know, 10,000 damage, but no citadel, and then you turn around, do the same thing to me, and then hit 30,000 damage roll of 3 citadels. Like that, damn, that dodge was amazing. That I'm so surprised that North Carolina got away from that. But anyways, we'll stop the conversation real quick. We'll talk about the gameplay. As you see, the Benson, and what I did this game is, what our team did this game is we just controlled the middle. We kept pushing. We got their carrier on the run. The Benson guns are just loading non-stop, fire, 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 and it's a lot of fun, you know. Wow, where did those torpedoes come from? Huh? Maybe the ship behind me. But you know, what you do in the destroyer is a lot different than how you play a battleship, obviously. But I said before, with the destroyer, you can control your destiny to an extent, and in the battleship, you can't. You have to rely on a very weird luck system. I don't think Wargaming has even released how the damages are calculated. They have modules on the ship where citadels are, but you aim at those, and I don't expect to hit a citadel every time. I would like to. That would make the gameplay very fun for me. It might be different, you know, for other players who, you know, can get one shot it easily. But if you play a battleship right, if you don't expose your broadside too much, you're going to be able to control the destiny of the battle. But unlike, here's just the post-commentary results. We got 3 torpedo hits, 64 targets, 2 sets on fires with the damage, some pretty good damage that game, about 60,000 plus or minus. I can't do math right now.
Smoke generator started.
So here is the second battle, and just to finalize my statement, we have a lot to talk about today. Holy crap. I don't want to sound like a broken record, and I don't want to get annoying in this video or keep repeating myself. So let's finish the battleship talk. 2 RNG. No consistency on gameplay. And don't get me wrong, it's still fun for me. But it's very annoying to do everything in your power and still have to rely heavily on an RNG system. Okay, so that's done. Now let's talk about the carrier gameplay. Carrier gameplay in this game is the most watered down toddler representation of what a modern 2015 game for aircraft carriers or a naval game can be. The fighters act not like fighters. The torpedo bombers, you know, all right. For a carrier in World of Warships, or in this game, in my opinion, to be successful in the gameplay and for the players' fun, is that right now carriers, the only way carriers play this game is by damage, and that should not be the case. That's very bland, very easy carrier gameplay. What they need to do is they need to have fighters, you know, granted the fighters at high tier do kill bombers pretty quickly, and I'm not going to argue about that. But fighters, when they kill airplanes, they need to earn the player experience and the credits. Right now, you don't earn jack shit. Oh, sorry, Cleveland. My bad. Because, what was I saying with Cleveland? Because in the state of the game right now, I've shot down 28 planes in one game and earned, you know, maybe I got some dive bomber hits because I was in this weird configuration where I had 2 fighter squadrons and 1 dive bomber on the Independence or the Saipan. Rest in peace, Saipan. I shot down 28 fighters, got 1100 XP, and the carrier beside me, you know, I don't know how many fighters he shot down, but I sure as hell know that he got more damage and less fighters, you know, shot down, or planes shot down, and he got more XP. And when the game's designed around damage for carrier gameplay, that makes carriers not do what they're supposed to do. In this game, how I would, God dang, the Cleveland just ripped me apart. Oh my gosh, get out of there, Benson. Just in this moment right now, I wanted to drop torpedoes, but then I wanted to save them because I was greedy. Luckily, we had a nice dodge right there to get away from it, but he will go down pretty damn shortly here. But in this game, you can't have carrier gameplay focused around damage.
Enemy cruiser destroyed.
How carriers should act in this game is a air superiority, a scouting, and then bomber. Or let's say scouting, fighter, and then bomber roll. Once you have air superiority, then you can go bomber. Now there's nothing wrong with sending bombers out and then sending your fighters out, but when when the carrier gameplay is so relied on damage, it's not how carriers are supposed to work in this game. I played Navy Field 1 for probably about 7 years of my life, and granted that game wasn't all that balanced, but it worked. It worked really well. The carrier gameplay was fun, it was challenging, it was skillful. Good carrier players got rewarded. Bad carrier players did not get rewarded. And when I say bad, sure, everyone's bad at one point in the game, but you learn how to deal with it or get better. And when the gameplay is so focused on damage, carriers are just watered down battleships, I guess. That makes sense. All they do is send out bombers and torpedo stuff. That's not dynamic, that's very predictable, and it's not fun for me. I don't like playing carriers in this game. I would actually like playing carriers in Navy Field 1 more. Like if, I don't know if you guys have played Navy Field 1, but even the spotting dynamic in Navy Field 1 was much better than this. Carrier players, the battleships had to rely on carrier players to scout. Now the battleships did have scouts, but the enemy carrier would shoot them down to enable a fog of war, or like so the scout plane wouldn't scout. And in this game, you know, carriers don't give a fuck about scout planes. The scouting mechanics are so far in this game that it doesn't work. Carriers don't work in this game right now. They really don't, in my opinion. And until then, you know, I won't play carriers at all. They are very boring things to play. So, with all that said, I hope I made sense. I hope I wasn't too annoying, but I just wanted to voice my opinions. In the comments below, you guys can tell me how you feel about carriers. Also, carriers, about having to pick your, you know, loadout before. I mean, when a game restricts you on what kind of loadout you can take in a game is so watered down. They're limiting customization, they're limiting player creativity. I don't understand why certain nations get more loadouts than the other. Not like squadrons, but the Japanese can take out more bombers, the Americans can take out more fighters. That's not how you do it. I think that this game needs pilots to train. You can have a max squadron of these many on a ship. So in case you wanted to go full torpedo whore, send out, you know, let's say 6 squadrons or torpedoes in the beginning of the game, you can do that, but the enemy player has the option to have a full fighter loadout. You know, I think we need more customization. I don't think carriers are there yet. But and that's why I've been playing destroyers. They're a lot of fun for me. You can control what happens. You fuck up because you fucked up. You don't fucked up. You don't fuck up because, oh gosh, I didn't get a good RNG roll. If a torpedo hits, it's gonna do some damage. And so what happened here in this gameplay right now, I was a pretty big noob here. First of all, I didn't save my torpedoes for right now when I needed it. I actually sent it at the Colorado. I don't know if you guys remember. But right now the torpedoes would be super clutch. And I think it was a Cleveland that this North Carolina just killed. But he went down, so I'm the only one left. Luckily, I have some smoke out to guard my retreat. And I'm hooking around, waiting to see what this Carolina is going to do. And you see at the bottom of the screen, I have 8, 7, 6, 5, 4. And, you know, to touch on mods right here, if I had a mod, I could easily look over that iceberg, no problem, see where he's going. But, granted, you know, I was close enough so I could see his dot and he was spotted, so I could see where he was going. And the rest is history with a full barrage of 10 torpedoes out in North Carolina. He was losing, so I think he just wanted to try to kill me, but, you know, he's just walking into a death trap. Oh, it's just so fun, guys. It's just so fun. Another thing we can talk about is turret destruction in the game. There's absolutely no reason, in my opinion, to have the whole point of the game destroyed without repair. Excuse me. If you guys see, my last turret is X'd out, and what this means is that I can't shoot this gun. I can't repair it, and it goes up to the whole. Did I already talk about this video? I don't know if I did or not. No, I did not. It even goes up to the battleships. I was in my Yizumo, sorry if I mispronounced it, on the common test, and both of my front turrets went out, and the only one I had was the back one. You can't do that. In War of Tanks, does a turret get destroyed? Are you just a walking dead man? Because that will happen. I've had all my turrets destroyed on a battleship before. Sitting duck. There's posts about it on Reddit. You know, it happens, and you can't negate what the whole game's about with RNG. Too much RNG in World of Warships, but still a very fun game if you find a niche, which is destroyers. And as you guys can see, the game is ending right now. And there's the score. We had some pretty good torpedo hits that game. We had 4, 2 destroyed, 4 flooding, 36,000 on the torpedo damage, and 15-ish thousand with, well, 14,000 with HE shells. All right, guys, so I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'll be bringing you guys some more videos of World of Warships soon. All right, guys, peace out.